Hi YouTube, this is my first Roland MC707 Groovebox tutorial, and I'm going to talk about the looping track issues that a lot of people have faced in terms of that you can only record or have 60 seconds of samples in the looper track mode per project. So it has been quite a step back for a lot of people that thought that this was a complete groovebox with a lot of looping capabilities, but although its looping capabilities are pretty good, though for some reason the memory in the looper track is not enough, so because if you have a live set of 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours long, 60 seconds of samples, especially if you use a lot of samples, it's not going to be enough in one single project. So okay, let's get to it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use these last two tracks as looper tracks. So I'm gonna delete them. And okay, so first things first, we create a looper track. We have tone track, drum compression, and looper track. So we create a looper track, and it says WAV file, no? So the cool thing about this is that we can import WAV files are in different BPMs, and it's time stretch. You're gonna time stretch to the BPM of your project, no? So right now my project is in 100 BPMs. So let's import, for example, a drum loop. They're not like, this is a pretty capable drum machine, but I don't know. Let's say that we want to import a drum loop. So yeah, for example, let's import this more like Latin beat. It was 90 BPM, so now when I play it, it's gonna be 100, which is amazing. We don't have almost any pitching problems. So yeah, I think it's 2 bars. So if we add more samples, there's gonna be a moment where we're gonna be full in memory. Especially that's gonna happen when we get to around 50-60 seconds of loops. I'm not gonna do it, it's gonna take me a long time, so try it for yourselves. You're gonna see that you're gonna get a message that says abort, there's not enough memory. You can go to knob assign and looper optimize and go to optimize the usage, and either way you're just gonna have 60 seconds. So there's 2 ways that we can avoid this, and it's gonna take us a little bit more time. Let's hope that someday an update comes back, but it's gonna take us a little bit more time in preparation, but it's definitely worth if you want to have more samples. So okay, so first things first, we need that sample that we want to transpose out of a looper track to have more samples in our project to be already in that BPM. Okay, this is not gonna work if you didn't time stretch or your sample is not in the proper BPM or the same BPM as your project. So what we're gonna do here is, okay, so I have this sample at 100 BPM. Okay, so I'm gonna create here, let's start with a drum track. So here in channel 6, I'm gonna create a drum track, and I'm gonna press record. So this is gonna record this. So we can see that it's already triggering. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have to record the source, which is track 8, where our loop sample is, and I'm gonna have it to trigger at this setting that it's minus 24 dB. So I'm gonna press enter, and as soon as it gets a sound signal from the F8 track, it's gonna start recording. So that's when I'm gonna press my play button. So let's go. It's 2 bars, so I'm just gonna listen to the sample and end the recording. There we go. Okay, so here I have it. I'm gonna normalize it. Okay, so I found the end. I think it's here. Pretty sure. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I like this. I like how it sounds. So I'm gonna go to my 6th channel. This is a drum track. So I already have the drum track here. So I'm gonna import it to any of these pads. No, so let's put it in the first pad, which is usually the kick. So I'm gonna replace the kick for a whole drum pad. So when I have my sample ready, I'm just press enter on the pad, and it's writing, and okay, it's loaded. But we can hear it fade out at the end, you know? This is an issue. I haven't been able to overcome it. So usually what I do is, okay, we exit the sample edit, we go to our drum pad edit, the kit edit. And here, first of all, if I just press it once, it's gonna sound, and it's sustained, no? So it's non-sustained. So it's just gonna play, and we can do that if it's a short sample. For example, if it would be 1 bar, I don't think I would have a problem. I'm just gonna put it here, and probably I just need to adjust the release because the release is catching up on the 2nd sample. So because it's 2 bars, I'm gonna first make 2 bars, and then I'm gonna go back to the sample edit. And okay, so what I'm gonna do is, first of all, press sustain, because there's not this like in the MPCs or like other drum machines or samplers that it's just a trigger mode where you just press the button or just add one and it's gonna re-trigger the whole sample as it happens in the looper track mode, no? So it's not gonna loop perfectly. So we need to do it manually. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna delete this one. We need to, right now that I put sustain, the sound is gonna be the same as long as I sustain the button, no? So, okay, let's go to my metronome. Okay, let's start it. I'm gonna press rec. So yeah, now I don't have it. We don't hear the fading out, no. So, but for example, here what happened is that we still have a release. So just sometimes make sure to turn off the release. Here I can hear the release a little bit. So let's turn off the release. So when I press pause, it's completely gonna pause, no? So this is the first way to load a sample in a drum track and use it as a looper track. You can add more samples on another drum track, and that's gonna be helpful in some way, no? Yeah, so here I have a nice loop going about. I'm just gonna add a little bit of release at the end. Yeah, okay, so perfect. Now the second way we can load that sample, let's try a different sample. I'm gonna do more like an FX or maybe a vocal. I think I'm gonna be going for an FX sample, probably this. It's like it's like a rain stick device. So yeah, I'm gonna load this. I don't know what BPM is, so it's gonna time stretch. So now if I Let's play it. It's apparently at the same tempo as my project. So I'm gonna do the same thing, but in a tone track. So when I go to sound and record, I'm gonna do the same, record through source number 8. I'm gonna press pause. This is more like this is like 2 bars also. So, okay, so I'm gonna press enter to stand by, and then it says record when it triggers. So I'm gonna put the volume up, and when I press play, it's gonna record, no? Okay, so yeah, the end, I need to chop the end, which is restarting, so okay. Let's see how it starts. Okay, starts quite. Okay, yeah, I like it. So I'm gonna enter it. So it's gonna load into the drum track, to the tone track, sorry. So I'm gonna mute my looper track, and then I'm gonna, for example, here play. Here, the fun thing is that you can experiment a little bit more with the sound, because now it's like a chord mode, no? It's like a chromatic keyboard with that sample loaded into each key. So the thing is that if it's a long sample like this one, it's gonna be shorter every time I pitch up, or longer every time I pitch down, no? So if I go like really high up in the pitch, it's gonna last like 2 seconds. Yeah, so usually it's loaded here in the C note. So yeah, let's do the same thing, no? Like we quantize, we start, and okay, let's add the metronome so don't get lost. I think it's 2 measures, so I'm gonna do 2 measures. No, I think it's 4 measures. Okay, so yeah, now I haven't loaded the 4 measures as a tone track, no? So I can do whatever I want with it, and I just have to sustain the note, right? Because if you don't sustain it, it's just gonna play like really short. Okay, so look, I'm gonna delete, I'm gonna clear here, and for example, just put 1 beat of the C note, and it's just playing like really short, you know? Even if I go to the whatever, I there's not that many options here, so yeah, I would have to like, but you can also play with that. Like I think it's fun that you can make like a sequence out of that, out of a sound that you just recorded, no? It's more experimental, no? So like for example, so yeah, now we have our 2 clips. Okay, so that's it for it. Always remember, if you want to do like a whole more complete set, always remember to, before doing anything on a track, go to the settings all the way up of each track, like those general settings of a track, and put the sound source as a clip mode, because that way you're gonna be able to have different loops. Even if it's a tone track, you're gonna be able to have different sounds for each clip. No, even if it's you don't have samples and you're using the engine inside, the sound engine, you can have like a tone track, and it's gonna be like the first clip is gonna be a synth, and the second one on that same column is gonna be a bass, no, or a piano or whatever. So yeah, always, I don't know why it's not by default to be a clip mode instead of a track mode, but I prefer it that way. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, if you have any comments, please leave them below. And also, if anyone really knows what to do with when the drum track, if we can have this way of just pressing once with a loop in a drum pad, just pressing one time, like activating the loop by just putting it in the sequence, like any other, like in Ableton you can do that, or like even in also other drum pads or MPCs I've seen you can do that. Please let me know. I haven't found a way. Probably they'll add it to the next update. But yeah, keep creating. Thank you.